Let's start with an example of a single variable equation. So what I'm going to write down is 4x plus 6 is equal to 10. So what some of you might be thinking is, oh, I can guess and check. Let me try x is equal to 0. That doesn't work. X is equal to 1. Oh, that works. So x equal to 1 is the answer. But in today's video, what I'm going to show you is a strategy where you can guarantee you solve the equation each time. Pretty much, the way you solve the equation is you do the same operation on both sides to try to isolate the variable x. So to isolate the variable x, we should try to get rid of all the other things. So let's start with getting rid of 6. If you subtract 6 from both sides of the equation, then it balances. We get 4x is equal to 4. Then, if you want to just keep x alone, we can divide by 4 on both sides of the equation. So then we can get x is equal to 1 as the answer. So pretty much what you should do is just do the same operation on both sides of the equation. Let me give you an example problem where you can try this learning on, and then we can discuss the solution later. It'll be 3x plus 7 is equal to 28. So please pause the video and then we will find out what the answer is. Okay, so this is a pretty similar style problem to the example I gave you. You want to isolate the x here. So what you would do is first get rid of the 7. So just subtract 7 from both sides. So then you get 3x is equal to 21. Then you see that there's a 3x. So then you just divide by 3. And then you end up getting an answer of 7. So that's pretty easy, right? You just do the same operation to both ends. Now, let me give you a slightly more complicated idea. Let's do 4 times x plus 3 plus 5 is going to be equal to 25. So now there's like more stuff to deal with, but you can still follow a very common structure. Recall that we learned about PEDMAS a couple videos ago, where you keep the parentheses and do operations with that first. One thing you can do is you can either use the distributive property, or you can just leave the stuff inside the parentheses for last. So I'm going to show you both solutions to this before we end the video. So doing this, first we can subtract 5 from both sides. So then you get 4 times x plus 3 is equal to 20. Then you divide by 4. So then you get x plus 3 is equal to 5. And then you subtract 3 from both sides, and you get x is equal to 2. That's one way you can do it. The other way you can do it is you can use the distributive property, where instead of doing the isolation to the parenthesis block, what you can do is you can just distribute this inside and do 4x plus 12 plus 5 is equal to 25. Then you can consolidate this, so 4x plus 17 is equal to 25. Subtract 17 from both sides, and you get 4x is equal to 8. We're then dividing by 4 on both sides gets us an answer of x is equal to 2. So as you can see, we can use our skills from PEDMAS and our earlier chapters of number sense in order to solve these equations by pretty much doing the same operation to both sides and being careful on how we do them. Before we leave, there's one last special case I'd like to discuss, which is multiplication. So using our knowledge of fractions, let me just do half x plus 4 is equal to 8. So obviously we can do our strategy of subtracting 4 from both sides and then dividing by half. But instead, let's learn what multiplication does. When you multiply these equations, you have to multiply the whole side. So I'll say multiply by 2 will be our first operation. So what happens is you have 2 times half x plus 4 is equal to 16, where then this 2 has to be distributed across each of the terms, which is again an application of the distributive property. So by doing this, you get x plus 8 is equal to 16, where then subtracting 8 from both sides gets us an answer of x is equal to 8. So pretty much, you just have to be really careful with doing the exact same operation on both sides and utilizing our skills of PEDMAS, distributive property, associative property in order to break down these equations. I hope you learned a lot about single variable equations. In our next video, we're going to be learning about the harder thing of doing two variable equations. Thank you for listening.